Welcome back, everyone. If you want to talk football, you came to the right place because we talk all football all the time. This is Brad and Kyle. This is Blitz and Kick. Our first segment today, In the Trenches. This is usually our first segment for every episode. Matchups for this upcoming week, or maybe matchups from the previous week. Our first In the Trenches is TJ Hockenson and the massive contract that he got. Kind of want a little bit of a debate here. Do you think TJ Hockenson was worth that contract, and why or why not?
No, because he's not. Because his name is.
Because
I say no.
Hockenson is the GOAT.
I say no because his name is not Travis Kelce or George Kittle or. I mean, you could say Dallas Goedert up there, honest to God, because I think he's one of the better tight ends. He's on the higher end of the tight ends. If your name is not Travis Kelce, honestly, I don't think you deserve that type of money from the tight end position. Kittle, I'm throwing up there because of name recognition alone. Yeah, it's definitely he's not. Hawkinson's not a Hall of Fame player. He won't make the Hall of Fame as a tight end. He don't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that he got that big fat contract. I mean, the Lions gave up on him, kind of, right? I mean, I know they got a second-round pick for him, but then they easily replaced him and drafted Sam Laporta. I don't think they saw his worth, and so they traded him away. I didn't see the Vikings improve dramatically with him in the offense. I didn't see that from him either in the pass game or the run game. It's still the Justin Jefferson show, and probably going to be the Jordan Addison show as well. So I don't know if he's going to even get the bulk of the targets to deserve that money. And I don't think they're going to run the ball enough for him to showcase his ability as a blocker. And I feel like if he had that great ability as a blocker, the Lions probably would have kept him. You know, like if he was that good, if he was that game-changing, worth that kind of money, I feel like the Lions, who are usually devoid of talent, would keep a guy like that. So
I would argue, though, that tight ends are not a dime a dozen. It's hard to find a good receiving tight end that's kind of worth that money. And I'm not saying that money is what he's worth, but I'm just saying, like, yes, Travis Kelce is an anomaly, and anybody that can put up those kind of like stats is pretty decent. I want to say Hockenson had several touchdowns last year for the very pass hungry Vikings, and that's hard if you can pull away from Justin Jefferson and now Jordan Addison. Thielen was kind of on the decline at that point, so I'm not even going to add Thielen into that discussion. But just being able to have that kind of a share of the offense, I get it. I don't think he's worth the money, but I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to find tight ends sometimes, but I just don't know if that's in their plan is to get him involved that much.
He had 3 touchdowns for the Vikings last year in 10 games. Three touchdowns in 10 games, and in 7 games in Detroit, he also had 3 touchdowns. He did not excel.
But like what you were saying too, Aubin, about Dallas Goedert, like we know as Eagles fans that he is so important and necessary to the makeup of our offense.
Absolutely.
In the run game. But also, like, if someone's doubling Devonta or AJ, or, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a one-on-one matchup, Jalen Hurts is definitely going to go to Dallas Goedert, and he's so good with the ball in his hands after, too. Like, he does more than one thing, and he excels at all of them. Just look at that Super Bowl and how good he did. And we saw what happened to the Eagles when he was gone. Like, that little stretch of 3 or 4 games.
I mean, him going down against the in the game against the Washington Redskins, or I haven't said that name ever. The Washington football team or Commanders last year, they don't lose that game if he stays healthy. Yeah. And that was the first loss of the season, and even still they had a chance. But yeah, he's too important to the offense.
Yeah, I just don't see Hockenson as that quite. I mean, he could get there. I don't see him there quite yet.
And even I know we're trying to get up to the next topic, but I'm just looking at stats. And if we're just looking at stats, in 10 games in Minnesota last year in the regular season, he had 60 catches for 519 yards, and he averaged 8.6 yards a reception and only 3 touchdowns. In the 7 games he played for Detroit, he had 43 catches, so 40 less catches, but only 160 less yards in 3 less games. And he averaged 15 yards a catch with 3 touchdowns. So he's not he's just not doing anything that is astronomical. And like you said, the Vikings offense didn't just all of a sudden open up during those 10 games. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot, so he doesn't deserve.
To be fair, he did play for Detroit. Like I rarely will count anybody's stats with Detroit because Detroit was such a dumpster fire. But I will give it to you with the Vikings. He should have been more explosive.
I
agree. Not last year. Last year was a better year for them, but I don't know.
I don't think
I will fight for Hockenson. I like Hockenson.
I don't think he's the explosive type. I think he's good. And
he's not Mark Andrews.
I'm definitely not arguing against that. I think he is a good tight end.
Mark Andrews, another good opportunity for someone who deserves the money.
I just don't think he's worth top 5 kind of money. All right, moving on to our next topic here. Lions versus the Chiefs. That's our first NFL game, Thursday Night Football. Lions versus Chiefs. Mahomes versus Goff. What do you guys think about this matchup, and who do you have coming out on top?
The defending Super Bowl champion.
If I can be wild here for a minute. Yes, but I don't think it's going to be like 55-10. Like, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll actually be competitive until the fourth quarter, and then the Chiefs are going to pull away. However, I hope it is like that. What was it, 2017 game between the Rams and the Chiefs where Goff and Mahomes just went off back and forth. I hope it's that game because for the first game of the season that I'm going to watch, I'd like it to not be a deadbeat game. And I like what the Lions did this offseason. They were not quiet. They were very active. Their draft picks were a little questionable, but I like the value. I like what they got, and they're going to use all of it. I don't know if Jack Campbell should have gone in the first round, but that's a whole different debate. Running backs will always go late second, early first back half of the first because people feel like they need it. Jahmyr Gibbs shouldn't have gone there either. But they got Brian Branch, who had a first-round draft grade. So I guess if you just moved their picks to where they should have gone, they still were okay. But I don't think this is a Lions team that we can just turn the TV off and say, the Chiefs are going to beat them by 57. I don't think that's what this is. But Chiefs 100% will win that game.
Yeah, I'm eager to watch it just because I think if the Lions can shorten the game a little bit, I think they have a shot. But what will happen is if they don't shorten the game and they go down by 14 or something, 10, 14, whatever, and they start becoming pass happy, that's where the Chiefs, I think, will get them, where Spags is going to come up with some blitzes and Jared Goff's going to run around back there. But if they can shorten the game a little bit, be able to run the ball against the Chiefs, then when it comes to that third, fourth quarter, I think the Lions have enough offensively with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe even David Montgomery, Sam Laporta too, just talked about him, to make it close and to get some big playability. Their offensive line is very, very good. I would say 4 out of their 5 starters, if we're just looking 4 out of the 5 starters across the whole league, they have some of the best. I truly believe that. Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Taylor Decker, some really good offensive linemen, young too. They're going to continue to get better. So I'm not in love with their front 4. I think if they don't blitz, which they were very blitz heavy last year, but we know Pat Mahomes beats the blitz too. So I don't know if they're going to have an answer for Pat Mahomes. So the only way for them to
no one really does.
Yeah, no one does. The only way to make it close to possibly win is to shorten the game, run the ball a little bit, and maybe get lucky on a few Mahomes pass attempts. So I don't see the Lions winning, but I do see them performing to where we're like, okay, this team can win a number of games this year. Our next topic here, 49ers versus Steelers. Moving on to that one. I think it's one of the biggest games of the week outside of the Lions and Chiefs. Aubin, what do you think of the 49ers and Steelers game?
I think if Brock Purdy shows up and does anything, they're the better team. So it really depends on, I guess, Purdy's health and what he's capable of doing. I mean, I honestly think that the end of last season was kind of a fluke. He was Mr. Irrelevant probably for a reason. I think that he has a great situation in San Fran. He's got just a star-studded lineup around him that makes him better and lets him have to do less, maybe. the Steelers are, I think, still a piece or two away. They upgraded their offensive line with Broderick Jones. Was that their O-lineman that they drafted?
Yep.
So that's a big help for the QB, for Pickett. I think Pickens is bound to have a decent year this year. So I think the Steelers are a piece away. I think the 49ers are a better team. So I think the 49ers are going to run away with it on that one.
I feel like I need to make the argument that the 49ers are just choke heavy constantly. And that the Steelers, Kyle, one of the biggest complaints that we had this offseason with the Steelers when we were talking about pre-drafts and stuff like that was their O-line. I don't know if y'all watched. I know it's preseason, but I don't know if you watched their O-line. They looked good. They gave Pickett time. They gave Pickett opportunities. They made holes for Jalen Moore and Najee Harris. And here's another stat that kind of terrifies me a little bit. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. Are we going to see a different Kenny Pickett this year? I don't know. It's preseason. Anything can happen in preseason. But the fact that he's improved, the fact that he's making better decisions, the fact that the ball was on the money, the fact that they're doing all these things that we were critical about them, they're doing better in the preseason. Maybe this won't just be like a hop, skip, and a jump for the 49ers. I think this will be kind of a tough game.
Yeah, I think the 49ers should win, but I think the Steelers have good matchups, specifically at receiver, right? I mean, we know the 49ers front seven, they're not going to run the ball. That's not likely. But what the 49ers don't have is the corners to match really good receivers. If you can give your quarterback time, right? And the Steelers have those weapons. They have Pickens. They have Deontay Johnson. They even got Allen Robinson. I think all those guys have the ability to win 1v1. So I would say the running game probably won't be there, but if Pickett can get some time, I think down the field shots could prove the Steelers a good game plan. And also what happened to the 49ers at the end of last year, specifically against the Eagles, we got to Brock Purdy, right? They got to the other quarterbacks. The 49ers offensive line a little shaky. And who can provide that same chaos? It's the Steelers. They're all about chaos on defense with TJ Watt, Highsmith. We talked about Nick Herbig last week. Cameron Hayward. We know what their safeties can do from a blitzing perspective and just a turnover perspective. They got the guys to make Brock Purdy, a little nervous back there, I think, and really test to see if his arm can hold up. So I think this is a very good matchup for the Steelers, but I think you're right, offense. I think talent-wise, 49ers just have more talent, and I think they should win. But I would just watch out for those matchups this week. I think they could prove for the Steelers to get close. Last topic here in the trenches: Chiefs and Chris Jones. They have been far apart on a contract extension. I want to hear from you guys. Should the Chiefs trade Chris Jones? And if they do, where should they send him?
Yeah, they should trade him back to Miami and get Tyreek Hill back because the offense is going to need it this season. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is great at everything, but, let's be real. They're not going to get a great return for Chris Jones in the trade. The way that the market has looked, all these trades, every team that makes a trade is getting fleeced. Nobody's getting equal return on both sides. So if Chris Jones leaves, and one of the rumors I heard today was that the Cowboys were looking at him, or what I saw was that someone tweeted something about a potential trade for the Cowboys, and I forget who it was. And then apparently Chris Jones liked the tweet that someone posted about the trade. So they're all like, oh, is Chris Jones going to go to the guy? It doesn't matter. Chris Jones should stay a Chief. He's the only chance that their defense really has at staying explosive. He's a game changer on the defensive line, so I think they need him. But yeah, they should trade him to Miami and get Tyreek Hill back. That's the only chance they have.
Yeah, I don't think they should pay him the money. He's about to be 30. The money that they're about to pay him is not going to match his age and his production for what he's going to be for that defense. I agree with Aubin. He is absolutely critical for that defense. But do you really want to overpay him when you can put a young guy in there, give him a chance, get something for Chris Jones to improve your secondary maybe, because their secondary is always kind of questionable. I don't know what to do with Chris Jones, but I think at this point you have to get what you can for him, because if not, you're going to just lock yourself into this contract. And then in 1 year, he's not producing the same way. In 2 years, he's not producing the same way. And then you're stuck in this contract with Chris Jones. And especially if he's not making an agreement, that kind of is telling you like, okay, this may not work out.
Yeah, I think the team we just talked about, the Lions, I think would be a suitor for him. They have the picks, right? They have the money. They need a D tackle, defensive line, more of a presence than just Aiden Hutchinson. So I think the Lions would be a good fit, especially if, week one, there's a little scouting going on. The Lions look at the Chiefs look at the Lions to see maybe if we can get a player or two or picks, whatever. Maybe there's some conversation back and forth with that. But obviously you need a team that has a desire for another D tackle, and you need a team that has the money and the picks to do it. Because I don't think it probably won't be a player for player trade. I think those are kind of rare, especially during the season. I don't think it happens as often, unlike, preseason where we kind of see that happen, especially for a massive player like Chris Jones. I don't know if there's players that can just, that equates to that. Maybe Tyreek Hill. But I think picks would probably be what does it. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't think they should pay him. There's money elsewhere, right? I mean, they're going to need to continue to give Mahomes the best contract. And, Kelsey's not done yet, and they got offensive linemen to pay, and they got linebackers to pay, and they got, there's just so much money that they need for other guys. So our next segment here is Gridiron Gang. We're talking about a couple guys this last week that we went on our team, guys that we just thought performed really well. First up is Travis Hunter, the receiver/corner from Colorado. Guys, he played over like 120 snaps, I think. Tore it up as receiver, got an interception as a corner. What do you guys think of Travis Hunter's performance?
Prime time, baby.
No words needed after that. That's all you really need to say. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, is it worth it? What age is he's a what year?
He's sophomore.
So he can't declare for the draft for another year, or he can declare after this year?
Another year.
Okay, so we have another year of being great. So the Eagles just have to be really great this year and then just tank the next year. Just completely pull the Miami Dolphins and just sell everything. He just makes everyone better on both sides of the ball. It doesn't matter.
The only way you'll make that happen is to bring back Donovan McNabb as your quarterback for that year.
I'm thinking that Nick Foles might need to make a recurrence. I don't know. I'm just saying. I've heard that Johnny Manziel was looking for a comeback. So I think Philly's the right place. If we can fix Jalen Carter, we can fix Johnny Manziel.
Little white guy scrambling all over the field.
Yeah, we don't see that very often, right, in college football, guys that play both sides of the ball. The last one was what? Maybe like a Jabril Peppers, or before that, Charles Woodson a little bit, It's rare for that to happen. So, like, if he can keep it up, then, like, Heisman candidate, like, no doubt, right? If he put up his production every game on defense and offense. But at some point, you got to think, my gosh, like, if they play in Oregon at some point and Oregon goes up tempo like crazy, Mr. Travis Hunter is not going to have any air left in his lungs to keep doing this. So, maybe, I know he's great, but maybe they should slow it down a little bit. And besides the point, he played really well, and that's such a baller performance to do that on both ends and to help out his team like that. Our next guy here is Caleb Williams. We've talked about him on the show before. We know how good he is, but just week in and week out, he just makes throws that are incredible, Mahomes-like, if you will. Just a guy that if he doesn't get hurt, we probably know he's going to go number one overall. So we might as well put him in the gridiron game.
He also broke Matt Barkley's record for most 4 TD games by 31 more games that what Matt Barkley needed to do it. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that he won't get the full taste of the Big Ten because he's still playing in that awful conference with no defense. So, like, just putting that out there a little bit. Lincoln Riley, his quarterbacks haven't really done that incredibly well in the NFL besides Mr. Jalen Hurts. But, he also went to Alabama too, so there's a little bit of caveat there. So just I'll put that out there in the atmosphere. I'm sure he's going to kill it at the next level, but, also he hasn't really played any good defenses yet. So, but nevertheless, I think he's going to have a really good year and probably going to be in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy. Next segment,
Probably.
Sleeper Seekers. One guy that you probably don't know about that you should know about. Guys that will probably see the highlight reel again. Guys that's going to have their team in the thick of things at the end of this year. And that is Michael Pratt, the quarterback out of Tulane. Brad, do you remember Michael Pratt? I'm pretty sure we played a didn't you play as Tulane or did I play as Tulane?
I did. I played with Michael Pratt and won the Heisman with Michael Pratt.
That's right. Yeah, and he was a beast in that game. He's a beast in real life, it seems. Tulane's ranked 24th. I didn't realize that. But the last 3 years, 27-5, 21-8, 20-8. He just boosted his completion percentage last year to 63.6%. 4-touchdown game this weekend. He's improving every year. He's a fourth-year junior, so I guess realistically he could stay another year. But Brad, do you think if he keeps up this type of performance for a Tulane squad, do you think he'll come out in the draft?
I think he should, because what are the odds that you go for another year and do that well? I could see him as a second or third round pick, unless he just goes ballistic this year and does like some Joe Milton throws, and then I'll believe it. They'll just call him Anthony Richardson 2.0, though. That'll be the problem. Except that he actually had a college career, so.
Yeah, he's been in college for quite some time, unlike Anthony Richardson. All right, guys, our next segment here is Draft Brew. Remember, this is going to be a snake draft based on a certain topic. So this week, we're going to go snake draft me, Aubin, and Brad. It is assembling the best non-SEC and non-Big Ten quarterback, running back, 2 receivers, and tight end combo that are currently in the NFL. So there's a few stipulations there. So you can have any current NFL quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. I did not play at a Big Ten or SEC school in college.
1 second. I got to get my notes out here so I can
you're
type.
good.
Gotta be able to keep track of.
So
Q1,
obviously,
QB.
I know what you're taking first, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's the QB, running back, 2 wide receivers?
Yes. 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 receivers, 1 tight end. Obviously, we can't choose, Joe Burrow, right? LSU, also Ohio State. Justin Fields, can't choose him. Jalen Hurts kind of went to Alabama, but maybe you could choose him. Maybe I'll let that slide. Like I wanted Justin Fields last week. All right, so my first pick here, I think it's the most obvious one. I think we all know it. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
It's funny because that's actually not where my head was at. That's so interesting. I forgot he existed.
Texas
I
Tech, baby.
forgot he existed.
I kind of did too for a second when I was assembling this, and I was like, oh, wait, that's right. He didn't go to SEC school. So Patrick Mahomes is my first pick. So that means, Aubin, you are up next with your first pick.
I am.
Can we make this harder? And you can only pick them if you can pick the college they went to.
Sure, Texas Tech. That's good.
You know what? I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson. MVP. He went to Louisville. Is not in either of those 2 conferences. That seems pretty easy. Wasn't who I was gonna go with originally, but that's who I'm going with.
Brad, you get 2 picks.
All right. Well, I lost my quarterbacks that I wanted. That's okay. I'm going to take Travis Kelce out of Cincinnati.
Nice.
Let's see. So I got a tight end. Running back. That's hard. Do you know how many Alabama running backs there are, Kyle?
And Big Ten running backs. Yes.
It's the only position that they actually have success in the NFL.
What receivers?
Wide receiver too, I guess you can.
Yeah, I was about to say what. Can I cheat and take Jalen Hurts and say Oklahoma?
Sure. That's it's up to Aubin. I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna say I don't actually care.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Works for me. That's my tight end quarterback. Go for it.
All right. I get 2 back-to-back picks here. Yeah, you stole my
Wait,
tight
isn't
end.
it my pick? Because I was second.
Well,
Oh
Auburn
yeah,
picks
you're right.
first.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yep. Go ahead.
I'm gonna take Austin Eckler at running back.
Where did he go?
Western State. Only because I just looked it up. There was no chance I was going to name Western State. I just knew the name and was like, oh, yeah, he's great. Where did he go to college? Because I don't know.
I love that.
All right. I mean, I'm up next. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. Out of, I think you put, was it West Alabama? I believe. Really small school. And then my next pick is going to be. Should I go double receiver here? Go to tight end. I'm going to go double receiver. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma, I think. All right.
I'm going to go wide receiver on this next pick. And I'm going to go T. Higgins from Clemson.
Nice. Good pick. Brad.
I'm going to take a receiver. I'm going to go Devontae Adams out of Fresno State.
Nice.
And then I'm going to take Aaron Jones out of UTEP.
Nice.
I think I'm also going to go with another wide receiver, and I actually don't know if this is going to count, so you have to correct me if I'm wrong. But I think I want Stephon Diggs because I don't.
He went to Maryland.
That Maryland is Maryland they're in the Big 10, Big 12.
Yeah.
I was hoping they were the ACC. I'm bad at conferences in college football. Give me a second. I just got to make sure that this is the college is going to be right. Nope, that one's in the SEC. I'm going through my mental Rolodex.
There's another Clemson receiver out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a couple of them, but I'm just trying to stay away from picking back-to-back Clemson guys. You know?
Yeah.
You know what? I got two picks in my head. I'm gonna check it before. Nope, that one's not gonna work. And watch, this one isn't gonna work either. Let's see, where did you go to college? Oh, the Sooners. Is that it? Is it Sooners are okay, right? Oklahoma's fine.
Yeah.
Let's take Mark Andrews, the tight end.
Nice. Mark Andrews. That means I have back-to-back picks here. I'm gonna go Dallas Goedert then out of South Dakota State.
Yeah.
And then my next pick is going to be one of these three running backs I want, and I don't know which one I should take. Should I go for unproven rookie or one of the fantasy studs? I'm gonna go. I'll go Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford. That's my last pick there.
Guess that puts it back to me, huh?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. Brad, you want to make your pick before? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with that one because he's definitely not. Eastern Washington is not anywhere near any of these conferences, right? We're safe. Am I okay to steal Cooper Kupp?
Yes.
Dang it! I was hoping nobody would think of Cooper Kupp. Oh, shoot! Now I got to think of a wide receiver.
Want to trade?
I'm good.
Brad, I'm thinking of like two guys right now. It's tough. One's from Arizona State and one's from Clemson.
Oh, I guess I could take DeAndre Hopkins. I guess
Dang.
that'll work.
Hopkins. It's a great.
I don't know of many. The other guys, honestly, are SEC Big Ten guys. Like, seriously.
I know
So,
it's hard.
Yeah, I think that I had Brandon Ayuk possibly as well, but I don't think he was worth taking. All right, so my team, I had Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb, Dallas Goedert, Christian McCaffrey. Brad's team was Travis Kelce at tight end, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, and Auburn's team was Lamar, Austin Eckler, T. Higgins, Mark Andrews, and Cooper Kupp. So if you guys are listening, just rate our team. Who do you think did the best? I think it is a little bit of an advantage for me to go first again. Maybe we'll change that up next week. It's kind of hard when you have Patrick Mahomes and then, the rest of the league. So that was our Draft Brew segment. Our next segment here is our blind ranking. So I'm going to give you guys receivers to blind rank. Remember, 1 to 5, and you can't restructure it after I've said it. So this topic this week is best NFL receivers. It's going to be a little bit easier than last week. Last week was kind of tough, and it was just an intro to this segment. So, we didn't really know what was going on. All right. So if you have your 1 to 5 list, I'm going to give you.
I'm ready
your
for
first
this blind
receiver
spanking.
grade. What's that?
He said he likes when he's.
I said I'm ready for this blind spanking
blindfolded.
we're about to receive.
He was talking to Devin in the other room. She just walked by.
First receiver for you to rank is another Clemson receiver, Hunter Renfrow.
5.
5.
Actually,
5.
4. I still think 5 is right, but I want to change it to 4.
Kyle,
just because I feel like there's one.
Kyle doesn't need to ask me. Kyle already knows.
You hate him. All right.
Well, if all the other receivers are black, then I guess that's right. I mean, is this a list of is this all white quarterbacks? Are we ranking that? Because that would be harder.
I could do that. That wasn't where I was going, but I could switch it up. Why not? You know what? Why not? Let's just come up with some other white dudes here. All right. White receivers. Here we go. So Hunter Renfrow was our first one. Our next one is going to be Adam Thielen. Where do you want Adam Thielen?
5.
3.
Because I don't think he's going to do much in Carolina. So if it was like 4 years ago, he's higher up on the list. But Hunter Renfrow's a little bit of a better receiver because he's a little younger too. So.
All right, we'll go. It's tough.
There's not too many left. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You know what? We're gonna go the receiver from the Eagles, punt returner, Britton Covey. Where you gonna put Britton Covey at?
Number 3.
Right.
Number 3.
4.
4. All right.
I'm gonna look at my list. This is funny.
Next, I guess we'll go. Man, this is actually kind of tough to think of them.
There really aren't many.
There's not many.
Yeah, you didn't say Cooper Kupp. I mean, we're obviously going to put him at number 1.
I don't want to tell you one because you're going to make me rank him.
Andy Isabella.
I knew you were about to say Andy Isabella. I knew it.
Ew.
2, because that's what I have left.
2. That just leaves whoever you say last is both of our number 1s, which is
all right. And I could go. I have another one in mind, and that would make this list ridiculous. So I'm not going to do that. I'll give you an easy one, and I'll go Cooper Kupp.
Thank God we got saved. Wow.
I was going to say Jake Bobo, but I changed my mind.
So I literally looked up a list, right? Because for some reason someone actually made this list, which is hilarious. I wanted you to stop me when you start hearing names you don't recognize. All right, this is from the beginning. Number 1, Cooper Kupp. Number 2, Adam Thielen. Hold on, let me just switch my page. Number 3, Hunter Renfrow. Number 4, Scotty Miller. Number 5, Alec Pierce. I would have been out on this list already. I'm done at 3. Braxton Berrios. by the name, I didn't think he was white, but apparently he is. So,
he is from Miami.
Ben Skowronek.
Skowronek. All right.
Justin. Sure, you could. Yeah, Justin Watson.
Justin Watson. I didn't know he was white. All right.
Apparently he is, according to this list.
Yeah.
Trent Taylor.
All right.
Wow, you've made it way farther than
Cincinnati Bengal. I think he got cut though.
Gunnar Olszewski.
I think so.
Oh, the Steeler. Pittsburgh Steeler. He used to be a New England Patriot.
Yeah, he did. Adam Humphries.
Okay. Didn't know he was telling a
David Sills.
Giants, I think, at one point. West Virginia.
There's Andy Isabella. I would have picked back up here at number 13. Andy Isabella. I know that name. Kyle Phillips, the
receiver, Titans. Yep.
Yeah, wow, you know way more football than me.
I forgot about him.
Just the wide receivers. I don't know.
Kyle just beat me. I forgot about Kyle Phillips.
Who was that?
Dax Milne.
Dax
Milne. BYU.
I know the name. I don't know where he plays in the NFL though.
He's a Commander, or was last year. 7th round draft pick in 2021. Yeah, that I think these next ones, if you really know, man. Mason Kinsey, Brandon Zylstra, Jake Kumaro.
I know him.
Dan
Kumaro.
Chisena.
Former Penn Stater. Yep.
Yeah, Jared Bernhardt. I mean, this list is just incredible. A bunch of players that are way better than I would ever be, but also not knowable in the NFL. So.
Yeah, let's not do that one again. I think after 5, you're dead. So, wow. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I think after about number 15 or 16, I was those couple I did not know. I only knew Dan because he went to Penn State. So, all right. Well, that was pretty fun. Now you guys know more about white receivers that you won't really care about because they don't play. All right. So I think next is our Take Out the Trash segment. I'll do this one really quick, guys. I'm tired of preseason rankings in college football. I've just seen too many teams to start out super high and then end up just doing well. It doesn't really make sense for me to rank them so early. Even if you look at Colorado and TCU, granted, I love what Colorado did. Give them the hype, give them the praise. Like that's fine. But also TCU lost a bunch of guys from last year. And it's TCU. Like they've never been a program to have a ton of talent. So to have them at like 16 and then Colorado to beat them, it's not much of an upset. I mean, it is totality, but like for me, it's not because I don't think they should have been ranked to begin with. They lost so much. They're devoid of top tier talent right now. And pregame they said, hey, like TCU wants to show that last year was not a fluke. Kind of think it was. So I'm just not a big believer in TCU's longevity as a program. But there are other schools you could say too, like should Ohio State be that high? I don't know. I mean, should Michigan be that high? I don't know. We look at LSU, Florida State, like that's tough too. It's tough to judge, and that's why I don't think these rankings should be out this soon. Like give it a couple weeks. Like the first week of college football is always a little weird. We don't really know what's going to happen. We overrate teams. We underrate teams. Like that's always how it is. So that's why I take out the trash. Let's get rid of preseason rankings. But now we can pause. We'll be right back. We're pausing for our ads.
Fresh Cuts is our amazing sponsor who has been with us since 2020. Fresh Cuts is the local barbershop hangout in Marion, Indiana. If you're looking for a full-service barber with excellent cuts and a welcoming atmosphere, contact Caleb Kemper for an appointment time through www.freshcutsbarbershop.com. Mondays are the best days to get in, although he has plenty of time slots available. And if you happen to miss us live, you'll be hearing us in the shop while you enjoy your fresh cut. Slide on by to Fresh Cuts to pick up some stylish footwear with Caleb's Fresh Kicks collection. From Nike to Jordans, he offers the best price for quality kicks. And if you don't find what you like, Caleb offers custom work for $250. Stop over to 1224 North Baldwin Ave in Marion to pick up yours today, or Caleb also ships all over the U.S. Message him for prices and sizes. Our other people we sponsor, Steve Wood Illustrations and Ronald Morell for Mayor. Check out their respective pages on Facebook. And our other friends at other podcasts, the Culture Corner podcast, 1,000 Wives of Weird, and Rules of the Frame. Check them out on their respective platforms listed below.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Our next segment right now, we're going to do the Blitz package. That's our hot take for this week. Brad, is this your hot take?
It is. I'm getting set up here. So I'm going to be really, really spicy because it's only been 1 week of college football, and I'm ready to go ahead and make a statement. Are Colorado and Florida State the dark horses for a playoff bid? This is so early. It's like that nice big bite of a volcano sushi roll that you think is going to be nice and mild, and it just burns you all the way down. That's what this take is. And let me be honest, Colorado plays in a really open division. They prove that they can play well. They prove that they can put up big numbers. And who's going to stop them in their conference? USC? I mean, USC doesn't play anybody. You beat USC, that's it. You win. Maybe Washington. I know Kyle's probably over there saying, well, what about Michael Penix? What about Michael Penix? I'm absolutely a fan of Michael Penix, but I just don't believe in Washington. And what about Florida State? Kyle, you and I kind of talked about Florida State prior to this. We talked about them before we ever came back to the show. Jordan Travis is ridiculous. They have Jaheim Bell. They're not bereft of talent. I think they just had a really rough go last year. I think they have the keys and the elements and components to go back to a playoff bid. Do I think they'll win it all? Not necessarily. But I think Clemson's been kind of down. North Carolina is iffy and hit and miss every year. Like, they have good quarterbacks, and that's about it. They're also kind of wide open. I feel like if they play well and they play their whole season well, they could be there. Especially with Georgia and Alabama are going to have to play. Both of them are not going to get into the playoffs. Ohio State and Michigan are going to have to play. Both of them are not going to make it to the playoffs. There's going to be empty spots this year for the playoffs. And I think if you have teams that put together a good enough season like TCU did last year, you have an open door for some of these smaller programs. So that's
I think the Colorado Buffaloes, there are some easy games on their schedule, no doubt. But like, Oregon's going to be tough, right? USC is going to be tough. Stanford at times, they're tough. Maybe not this year, but it's not going to be as easy as one might think. UCLA usually has a pretty good team. Oregon State's not bad with DJ Ungale. And Utah always provides a physical brand of football as well. So, TCU, I don't think it should be the marker of, how good is this team going to be? Because, again, I don't really think they should be ranked. They're not going to be ranked after this week. So, I think Nebraska, they should probably handle them. Colorado State, too. They might start out 3-0, but then that run of Oregon, USC, Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, we might find a little bit more out about this team. But, yeah, man, it's impressive to see what he's done already. And as a personality, I think he is more of a personality than an actual coach, to be honest. But in college football, you can do that, especially if you can recruit, which it looks like you can, right? If you can motivate, which it looks like you can, and if you can get good coaches around him, which he's done. So
that sounds like great coaching to me. I don't know about personality. That not everybody can do that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like X's, I don't think he's an X's and O's type of guy, right? I mean, obviously he knows football. He was in the NFL forever. But in terms of like game plan or different schemes or like this brand of football, like for instance, Chip Kelly brought football at UCLA to Oregon. That's his brand of football. That's his scheme, his up-tempo offense. I don't know specifically what that is for Prime. But like, I even look at a guy like James.
The leaders and the dogs to play like leaders and dogs.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gonna get those guys ready, and that is part of coaching for sure. But I look at a guy like James Franklin from Penn State. Like I'm not the biggest believer in his X's and O's, but again, good recruiter, great motivator, great leader, gets good coaches, gets good players, and he has some success. So like that's a major part of it. In college football, it's much different in college football than it is NFL. Like NFL, if you want a head coach, like what are these guys are getting these quarterback coaches, offensive coordinators with this, a new way to look at offense and a different brand and different schemes, different whatever. And that's kind of how they rise up to the ranks. College football is like, how can we get the best players? Let's get a great recruiter, a great motivator, great leader. I think that's what he is and will continually be. But it all depends, like if you can win. So far, he won his first game. So, we'll see how he does the rest of the year. Brad, what is our next topic?
We are on to No Huddle. There are 3 questions there. I guess we'll do them in the order that we're in, if that makes sense. And we have 60 full seconds to get through all 3 of these topics. So as soon as Kyle is ready, I will start our timer.
So do you want me to go 1?
Yep, and then Aubin 2, and then I'll take 3.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. What college football team impressed you the most this weekend? You know what? I'm going to have to say Florida State. I mean, I know this is going to be in question number 3, but the way they were able to move the ball effectively, their defense or defensive line, specifically Jared Verse, we know what Jordan Travis can do at quarterback. It was a very good first win to build on.
I don't have the questions. I don't have the questions.
All right.
What playoff team last year do you think won't make it this year?
Is this NFL playoff?
The NFL.
NFL playoff team that made it last year that didn't make it last year, the Giants. They got lucky. They're not going to be that good in this division. NFC got better if they didn't.
Nice. What to make of LSU getting trounced by FSU? Look, Brian Kelly thinks he's made it. But look, baby, Florida State was way better than Georgia looked in their first game. And I think the SEC is always tough.
Nice. All right. Next segment here is Ice the Kicker. We did one last week, and our answers were Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, and Charles Rogers as the 3 Blitnikoff winners that went on to play for the Lions in their NFL career. If you got that one right, kudos. I don't know if anyone commented or not. Our Ice the Kicker question for this week, a little bit easier. Who is the all-time leading scorer in NFL history? And it's not at a position that you would think. So I will leave that one out there for our listeners and for you guys to think about as well. Anybody have any idea? Does anybody know what position it could be?
I guess would be a running back.
Brad, what do you think?
It could be a kicker.
Or a kicker.
Yeah, it's a kicker. I'll give you that hint. It's a kicker.
I think I know who it is, actually.
Yeah.
I think he was one of our answers from the Immaculate Grid we did last week.
It might have been. So we'll leave that out there for you guys to think about and decide. Our next segment is Rank 'em. This week we are ranking the top 5 non-rookie breakout players in the NFL. So who do you think is going to break out in this year? It could be anybody that you think of, just not a rookie. So
I was
we'll
right,
go,
by the way. I was right. I just want to shout it out. I was correct on my guess.
Good.
Keep going. Sorry.
All right. No, you're good. So we'll go 5-5-5, 4-4-4, and so on and so forth. So I will go with my 5th non-rookie breakout player. My 5th guy is going to be Nakobe Dean, linebacker from the Eagles. I think the defense is going to look to him a lot this year. I think for where he was drafted and how far he fell, I still think people think highly of him and are excited to see what he can do. And he's the middle linebacker. He's a play caller. He has the green dot on his helmet. He's going to be the guy. We know that he is a playmaker. So he's in bad situations and in good situations. Like he's going to be out there, right? So I think he's going to make a name for himself this year. He's going to break out, have a good year. So my number 5 is Nakobe Dean.
Brad?
My number 5 is Justin Herbert. I can't tell you guys how much I enjoy Kellen Moore being his new offensive coordinator. I think they're finally going to move the ball more. I think if anybody touched Eckler in fantasy football, you're going to be disappointed. because I think they're going to move the ball through the air much, much more than they did last year. You got Quentin Johnston, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen's coming back and getting healthy. Still no tight end answer, which is whatever. Gerald Everett is okay. But I think we're going to see a different Justin Herbert this year.
I just had an answer, and it was a good answer too. And for some reason, it just escaped my brain. Oh, Fooey. What was his name? Okay, well, I guess gotta pick a different one. I think that. Oh, DeAndre Swift. I think that DeAndre Swift, behind arguably the best offensive line in football, and in that committee of running backs in Philadelphia, is going to explode. I think that we're going to see just a great running back. I'm going to say DeAndre Swift is going to have a resurgent and dominant year in Philadelphia.
My number 4 is going to be Derek Stingley, corner, previously out of LSU. Now with the Texans, I think what D'Amico Ryans can do for that defense is provide a lot of stunts, a lot of good play up front with his defensive line and his linebackers. I think that's going to allow Derek Stingley to just play fast and not have to do many different things, but to play fast, play quick, and jump at the ball, get some interceptions, get some plays at behind line of scrimmage. Just be that guy who we thought he was going to be. I think he's going to have a breakout year this year for the Texans.
I'm going to be biased as usual. I think Rashad Bateman will actually finally find his way in the Ravens offense only because of the addition of Todd Monken. We're missing out on that MVP Lamar that we had that just slung the ball wherever he wanted to with just reckless abandon. And we haven't had that. We've had a very muted Lamar that makes a couple plays, but most of them are with his legs. I think Todd Monken is going to force him to get the ball to Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman. I'm not even going to count Odell because Odell will be out by week 3 with an ACL. So let's not sugarcoat anything here about who Odell is and what he's going to be for that offense. But Rashad Bateman has a really good, serious contender to be one of those premier targets for Lamar, and I expect to see him actually reach like 800, 900 receiving yards this year.
We're going to stick with Philadelphia at number 4 and say Devontae Smith. Brad and I had a short conversation yesterday about who the better receiver was in Philadelphia, whether that was A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And I stand by my statement that A.J. Brown was clearly the better option at wide receiver. However, I think this is the year that Devontae Smith truly gets his opportunity to break out. I mean, and by breakout, he's a 1,000-yard receiver the last 2 seasons. So he doesn't have much breaking out to do. He does everything that he needs to do on the offense. But I think that A.J. Brown attracted so much attention last year that it will force defenses to pay a little more attention to him. With Quez Watkins, the speedster that he is still there, opening things up in the slot a little bit, I think that Devontae Smith is still going to be able to have a breakout season and be even more productive than he already was, which he doesn't need to be. But that's my statement for today.
Nice. My number 3. Kind of want to change it up, but no, I'll stick with it. I'm going to go Justin Fields. I am a little bit of a believer in the hype. I'm not going to go as far as he's a top 100 player quite yet. And that's why I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think just last year we saw a lot of his running ability and the excitability of what he can do. But this year he actually has more weapons, right? He has more offensive linemen. He has a better plan. I think we're actually going to see him every week, and it's going to be must-see football. I think he's going to perform just overall better, just on the field, decision-making, stats-wise. I think he's going to have a breakout year. Last year, I don't think was his breakout year because I don't think he was that good last year. He had his moments. He had his exciting highlights, but overall, I mean, the team was, 3-14? So I think he's going to lead that team to a little bit of a better record, more gaudy stats, more plays, more explosiveness. I'm putting Fields at number 3.
Your list is making me laugh a little bit because my number 3 is DJ Moore. I'm going to take the other side of the ball there, Kyle, and say that the person that's going to benefit the most from having an okay quarterback instead of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and whatever weird white guy is throwing passes down there in Carolina, DJ Moore is actually going to have the benefit of being the wide receiver 1. There's no Curtis Samuel. There's no anybody else, or not even Curtis Samuel. Whatever. Don't listen to me. There's nobody else that's going to take things from him. Darnell Mooney is not going to be it. There's just no other option besides DJ Moore, and he kind of proved it in the preseason that Fields is looking for DJ Moore constantly. So I think DJ Moore could be a 1,000-yard receiver. I think he could make a Pro Bowl. I think this is the year for DJ Moore.
I'm truly going to the other side of the ball, and this might be a little bit of an outlandish statement, but I'm going to go for it. Much like the best gaming console to ever exist, PS2, Patrick Surtain II, is going to explode in that Denver secondary. He is already one of the greatest cornerbacks in the league. He's already top 5 from most people's estimations. And I think that this is the year that he solidifies himself in the top 3 conversation, which is why I have him right in the middle. I don't think he can go any higher. I think he's going to explode into the top 3 conversation, which might not be a big jump for him, but it's a jump. And I think that Denver's got something special in PS2.
My number 2 is going to be receiver. Actually, both 2 and 1 are going to be receivers. My number 2 is Jahan Dotson from Washington. We've seen everywhere on fantasy sites online about who's going to have the breakout year. Everybody's saying it's Jahan Dotson. I'm going to put my hand there and say, yeah, I think he's going to be a breakout too, not only fantasy-wise, but last year Washington did not have a quarterback. And while I don't think Sam Howell is going to be this franchise guy, I'm not sure if he's going to be. I still think he's able to put the ball downfield, and he's going to be able to make better throws than the previous quarterbacks. Along with Terry McLaurin, Diami Brown, the running backs that they have, Brian Robinson, Gibson. There's enough weapons on there for him to go a little unnoticed and for teams to put their best players on other guys. I think more people will devote resources to Terry McLaurin than they would Jahan Dotson. And I think he can do pretty much everything that Terry can do, but he's not going to see the number 1 corner. So I'm going to go Jahan Dotson for my number 2.
My number 2 is going to be unpopular number 2. I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor. Look, Jonathan Taylor 2 years ago was an unstoppable freak of nature. And then he got injured, and then now he's on the PUP list, so he's out for the first 4 games. I think the Colts are about to find out just how much they missed JT in those 4 games. With Deion Jackson, Zach Moss, Evan Hall, none of those names are really like, oh, wow. I think Jonathan Taylor is either going to come back and play lights out for the Colts and say, I want my money, or he's going to get traded by the deadline and somebody else is going to have him and he's going to go off for them. Either way, I think Jonathan Taylor is prepped for his breakout, especially if he gets healthy and he has those 4 extra games to just get healthy and practice.
This is an interesting pick, and it's just a name that pops in my head, and this is very surprising for even me to say. Number 2, I want to say Mike Evans. He has never, I believe, in his career had less than 1,000 receiving yards in a season. It is interesting that they don't really have a quarterback right now. Baker Mayfield is there, but I think that if he is competent enough, which it looks like he has been. I mean, if he can catch 1,000 yards from Jameis Winston throwing 68 interceptions in the season, I think he can do it. So I for consistency's sake and just to solidify him as one of the greatest receivers, I'd like to say Mike Evans is bound for another great year. I think if he's able to hit 1,000 yards with no quarterback, I think it's a great improvement and just shows how great he is and that he makes bad players better. So Mike Evans, I'm throwing out there. It's a Hail Mary, but circle back to this episode if it happens.
My number one is going to be George Pickens. I love what I've seen from him in the preseason. I like the offense that he's in. He's got swag for a number one receiver. He's got physical abilities. And he's in a place where that is encouraged. I mean, look at Antonio Brown, right? Like he was a hothead. He was a fool, but he was one of the best receivers in the game when he was with the Steelers. I think he fits that team, that identity. I think he's going to get the ball thrown his way a lot. He's going to make a lot of big plays down the field. And because he is that explosive personality, people are going to see a lot more of him. Whether it's good or bad, whether they have good opinions about him, strong opinions, bad opinions, I think he's going to have a breakout year for the Steelers.
My number one is Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. He's finally got a full cast of weapons around him. He kind of did last year. Evan Ingram should be the biggest weird choice to go off in fantasy ever, because Evan Ingram was written off in New York and then goes to Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence says, "Oh, I like you," and blows him up. But I think Trevor Lawrence is on the cusp of being a Pro Bowl quarterback this year. I think he can do it. I think with the Colts having a rookie quarterback, with the Texans having a rookie quarterback, with the Titans having Ryan Tannehill, who basically just is a rookie quarterback but just old, you have a chance to win that whole division. You have a chance to prove that we can put it together and actually make a deep playoff push. And it all rests on Trevor Lawrence. And I think he's finally hit the stride of not having a terrible coach in Urban Meyer, having Doug Peterson, somebody who's very QB friendly, very offense friendly. And they proved it last year. And I think they're just going to improve on that this year.
Number one, I don't believe all of the hype necessarily around this player, but I do think that his star power is going to shine this year because, as Brad mentioned, DJ Moore is there. And as Kyle said earlier, Justin Fields is primed for success. I don't think he's as good as Jalen Hurts, as many people are trying to make the comparison between the two. But I think that the drastic turnaround the Chicago Bears are going to make this year, I have them probably coming second in the division. I don't think Detroit's going to be as good as people think they will be. I think it's still Detroit at the end of the day, although they have gotten better. I think Minnesota wins the division. I think that Chicago has a great chance of coming in second, which is a drastic improvement for them. So I think that the amount of success that Justin Fields is going to lead in that team, Khalil Herbert is bound for a breakout season at running back. I have him in every league that I have. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues this year, and I think I have him in at least 2 out of the 3. He's bound for a great year. DJ Moore is bound for a great year, and it's all because Justin Fields is going to come in there and know that he has weapons, and know that he can use them, and be able to. And they upgraded a little bit on their offensive line. I just think that he's primed for success, which is why I think that any amount of betterment for that team is a win, and Justin Fields will be the result of that.
Nice. All right, so that is our 1 to 5, our non-rookie breakout players. Our next segment is Wheel of the Field. And this one with our lovely Blitz and Kick wheel. We're going to spin the wheel one time, and whatever team we land on, we have to get less than 10,000 career yards with a running back, tight end, and receiver. And they have to be starters too, or top 3, So we're going to see if we can do it. Brad,
Less than 10,000?
Less than 10,000, yes.
As the collective of the 3?
Yes, yep.
So we have to name the 3 players that will have combined less than 10,000. Okay.
Yes,
got
sir.
It.
Yep.
Understood.
All right. Brad, go ahead and spin that wheel.
Oh, I was hoping it would land on the Eagles.
We've got the 49ers.
Okay.
Are we all participating, or is this 3 different teams for each of us?
We can all participate. So I don't know their backup tight ends. Receivers.
Well, you could say, hold on.
I know Jawan Jennings played for them at receiver and started. I would put him out there.
At running back, I would say Elijah Mitchell.
Yes, Elijah Mitchell. At tight end. Oh,
I think here's the thing. I think that if you go George Kittle. I'm sorry. If we go George Kittle, he's been in the league for how long? There's no way he has enough receiving yards for it to. I think if we go bad enough with Mitchell, now that CMC is there, and we go with a wide receiver like Ayuk, who's only been there in like 2 years, there's no way we eclipse 10,000. I don't think George Kittle's had that much success at the tight end. Has he?
I guess we're going to
it's great, but
Elijah Mitchell has 1,242 career yards. That's pretty good.
George Kittle has, I just looked it up, is 5,254.
All right, and Jawan Jennings stats. Let's look his up.
What about Frank Gore? He didn't do a whole lot, did he?
And yeah, he did. For sure. He probably has 20,000 on his own.
Yeah.
So you had about what 5,000 for Kittle? All right, we're good.
Yep.
Jawan Jennings has like 700. So all right, we made that one.
Is he
You want to do one more?
Sure, we can do another one.
Is Jawan Jennings a starter?
Yeah, he started for them.
I think we would have still had it even with the Ayuk there. He had
I think so
2,500.
We got the Giants.
Oh well, that's easy. Yeah, let's go.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney. So you could go. Tony's on the Chiefs, but you could go him. He started for them.
Oh, but not the Chiefs. Well, who's the one that they picked up last year? He came from the Chiefs to the Giants. What, didn't he? It's not Kadarius Toney. It is Kadarius Toney.
No, he played on the Giants.
He went from the Giants to the Chiefs.
Oh, he went from the Giants to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So you could say Isaiah Hodgins. He hasn't played very much. You could say Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, and you could probably even say Saquon, and I'm sure we'd get less than 10,000. So
yeah, I think
I was thinking of Darius Slayton. I think.
Okay. Yeah, they're a team that has like nothing.
Jalen Hyatt, because he's going to be a rookie and he doesn't have any receiving yards yet.
That's true. That's true too. Yeah, we could go rookies. That's true.
He'll be a starter in some form or fashion.
Yeah. All right. So our last segment, if we wanted to kick that one out right now, we could do an Immaculate Grid with everybody here and call it a day.
Hey, I'm always down for Immaculate Grid.
All right. So let's do an Immaculate Grid. The famous Immaculate Grid.
Kyle, you bringing it up or mine? Kyle.
Who's bringing up the grid?
Oh, I mean, I can. I thought you got on OBS. Let me do.
Did you do? Here, I have it up. Did you do today's, Kyle? You said.
I did the one today on Dynasty. Yeah.
All right, so we'll do yesterday's then.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do the one yesterday, so.
So we got the teams, the Lions and Cowboys, Lions, Bills, Lions and one player with 1 sack and 1 interception in the same game. And then we have the 49ers, 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Bills, and the same with the sack and interception in the same game. And then the Chiefs, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, and 1 sack, 1 game.
Can I do 49ers Cowboys? Is that Terrell Owens?
Yep, that could work. Yep, good job. That one's good.
That's Bill's name.
Maybe you think Eric Berry would have gotten a sack and an interception in the same game? Maybe.
It's possible.
Possible.
Tyrann Mathieu in the safety spot.
Matthew too.
What was the weird thing that Aiden Hutchinson did last year? Didn't he have a sack and an interception in a game?
He might have. Yeah. Yeah, I know he did have an interception. That's possible. I'm good with that.
I am too. I feel like I remember that. Or I'm just remembering nothing good.
I'm just remembering nothing.
Yep,
Should
that's
go
good.
to Mr. Unlimited mode.
Yeah, we can go on limited.
Let's do it. I want to get this.
49ers. Maybe Fred Warner would have done it.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Let's go Fred Warner first because I like that. I think that's a possibility. It's not. Oh, we went unlimited because we are poor.
Did we go Eric Berry for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Did we try it already?
Wow.
Right.
Nothing.
Who are these?
Yeah, let's go Tyrann Mathieu.
There we go.
Hey, I got that one. I might quit after that. I don't know. That was rough.
That is rough.
Lions, Cowboys.
Roy Williams, the receiver. Lions, Cowboys. Receiver. Yep.
Nice.
Chiefs, Cowboys. We could say Chris Jones. It hasn't happened yet, but. Frank Gore played for both of these teams.
Yeah. That is correct. Chiefs and Bills. Eesh.
Did Matt Barkley ever play for the Chiefs?
Possible.
Probably. No.
Chiefs and Bills.
I don't think I could name any players who played on the Lions defense. Ndamukong Suh, did he ever have an interception?
No, I don't think so. You can try it.
Wouldn't that be something?
Try Ernie Sims. He was an Eagle at one point. He played for the Lions for a little bit.
Dang.
Wow.
That was a hope and a prayer.
This is a tricky one.
Did Glover Quinn? Did he play? He played for the Lions, right? I wonder if he
Quinn played for the Lions for sure.
I wonder if he ever did it.
He did not. Wow. All right, this has been another episode of Blitz and Kick. All right.
Man, it's tough.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I feel like we should get Chiefs and Cowboys. I feel like that
I
should
should get
be
Cowboys and Bills, Cole Beasley, but
yeah.
never played for the Lions.
Everybody I think about is always one team, but not both teams.
Mm-hmm. Like Josh Allen, you know, he plays for the Bills, but he definitely never
played for the Lions.
Lions.
You could say he played for the Chiefs in that overtime loss.
It's possible. Oh my God,
Dang,
it is so hot in this room. I think my brain is melting.
Did Kyle Allen ever play for the Chiefs, the quarterback? Possibly. For the Bills, sorry. Bills and Chiefs. Oh, dang it.
Dang.
Nick Foles never did it for any of these teams. Wow. The worst part about unlimited guesses is it'll never end.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to figure out who these people are.
Kyle, did Jamal Charles play for anybody besides the Chiefs?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if he played for the Bills.
I don't think it was the Bills, but he did. I think he went to Where did he go? Arizona?
I don't know.
He definitely didn't only play in the Broncos and Jaguars.
Okay.
Did Huffnega ever get a sack and a pick in the same game for the Niners?
Hufanga?
Hufanga.
No.
Dang it.
No.
Tallulah. What about Joey Bosa? Is it possible?
Maybe.
Are we
Definitely
thinking
for
this?
him.
Or Nick Bosa.
Nick
Or
Bosa.
Nick
is the
Bosa,
one
that's
that
right.
played there, though.
Whatever, it's a Bosa.
It could be Nick Mangold, the center. He did.
Hey, he did.
Good job, bro.
Wow. That's impressive for a D lineman.
We were overthinking that one. Lions. I just can't think of anybody that played for the Lions.
I know. I thought we named them all already.
Did Dion play for the Lions at one point?
No.
I know Barry Sanders did, but Barry Sanders is not doing no picks.
Did he
Well,
ever get
Chauncey
sacked?
Gardner-Johnson's there. Maybe he did it.
Yeah, but he hasn't played a snap yet.
Sometimes they allow it. It just depends.
Yeah, but he
Let's
wouldn't
try
have, he wouldn't have had a sack or an interception in the same game with.
But he might have had it for the Eagles.
Hunter Johnson's I'm looking for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No
Talented.
way. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Are they counting a preseason game? Like, he hasn't even played for the team yet.
I know.
The heck?
Bills and Lions. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Did Trask end up going anywhere? Where did Kyle Trask get?
Just the Buccaneers. Right
Just the
now.
Buccaneers.
Did David Blau?
Bridgewater?
Bridgewater, Chiefs.
Bridgewater's on the Lions.
He is on the Lions.
Maybe I'm thinking of EJ Manuel. I don't know.
He might have played for the Chiefs. EJ, man, maybe not.
What about
What about Tyrod? Did Tyrod play for any of these people?
Tyrod never went to the Lions or the Chiefs. He went
Okay.
to LA and then they ruined his life, and then he never went anywhere else. Well, he is on a team, I think. But what about Reggie Bush? Reggie Bush played for the Saints. Then he went to. Didn't he play in Detroit?
What about CJ Spiller? Did he ever play for the Chiefs or just the Bills?
That's a great question.
I don't know. Let's try it. We have unlimited guesses.
I feel like he played somewhere else, but I don't know. I don't know where.
Wow,
Oh.
what an answer. What an answer. I think we're tied, right? We're all tied. Everyone said 2.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get Chiefs and Bills. That shouldn't be impossible. Or the linebacker. I think it might be Anthony Hitchens. I think. Helps me think. Don't make fun of me. Yeah.
No way.
What about did Matt Castle played for the Bills, right? Did he ever play for the Lions?
I played for the Chiefs. I don't know. Oh, let's go.
Nicely done.
There we go. That was pretty good.
Right.
What were the common answers?
I don't know. It won't tell me anymore because we cheated and went unlimited, so it doesn't want to tell us. Now I have to do it. Now I have to do a whole other one just to figure that out. Brad is ready for sleepy time over there. I don't know. He's not going to make it through another one.
Correct.
Come on, Brad. Here we go. We're doing it
6:30
again.
comes early. No.
It's all right. For everyone, it does. I got to work tomorrow, too. You'll be all right. All right, here we go. We'll just
I
make
want to
it
do
quick.
things
Just make it
besides this.
quick. We'll just make it quick. Titans,
There is
Packers.
no quick with
Titans,
this.
Bucks. Titans, 10 sacks. Ooh. Raiders, Packers.
I want
That
to do
one's
other things.
Woodson. Aaron or Charles?
Charles.
Yeah, Charles. Okay. Broncos sacks. You could say Von Miller. That's an easy one. Just to get it out of the way.
It is so hot in this room. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Okay, Von Miller's not here. Where is he?
I know this sucks.
Is it VON or VONN?
Just one in, I think.
Good answer. Good answer.
Raiders sacks. Richard Seymour. He played for them for a couple of years. That might get you some low percentage.
Nope.
He didn't. Oh my gosh! What? I thought he played for the Raiders. Chandler Jones. That should be one.
Which this one?
Yeah.
Come on, Brad.
Titans, Javon Curse. He played for the Eagles for a little bit for the 10
Here?
sacks. The 10 sacks one. Yeah.
Raji never played for the Broncos, did he? Ever make it out there? Show me what you got, Raji. Kenny Britt, Jordy Nelson. What does Jordy Nelson ever play for the Titans?
Maybe.
It's so hot. Oh my god. It's melting. Sorry. My fan is very loud. I apologize. But I don't really because it's very hot in this office. Come on, Brad. You got this. The next one,
I got
you
nothing.
got it for sure.
Bucks and Raiders. Warren and Sapp. He played for both. Buccaneers and Titans.
If only Brian Dawkins had ever made his way down to Tampa. Titans, Packers. Titans, Bucks. Broncos, Packers. Broncos, Bucks. I got a backup quarterback somewhere in Denver that definitely made his way down to Tampa. Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No.
Did Fitzmagic ever play for the Titans?
No.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
Bucks?
Yeah. Yep, he did. Nice.
Gotta go Fitzmagic.
Broncos and Buccaneers. That one's hard.
Titans, Packers. Gotta be defense. Who's the long time Delaney Walker? Did he ever play for the Packers?
Possibly.
I don't think he did, but it feels right. Was wrong. My apologies.
Did Jake Butt ever go anywhere besides the Broncos?
Oh, he might have.
Who?
Jake Butt, the Packers, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. Broncos and Packers. I think he was on the Packers.
Which one is it?
Butt, yeah.
We're not correct. Devontae Adams. Dude, forgot. Matt Hasselbeck, Julio Jones. Oh, Julio. He's on the Titans now, but he hasn't taken a snap, so I haven't. Oh, yeah, he did. He did, actually. He's no longer there.
John Lynch for the Broncos and the.
Javon Curse being the top answer there, the most consistent answer, is a surprise.
Yeah.
Actually. All right, Brad.
All right. Well,
we'll be nice, Brad. We'll be nice.
I think we will. We'll call that a day. So thanks for joining us, hopping and joining us. You can follow us on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Spotify as well. So thanks, guys, for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.